Hello, hello, hello. This is the 216th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2225, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast.
I noticed something.
We're saying hello 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times today.
Last week
felt a bit unusual.
Last week we got an email saying, how come you always say hello twice?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we don't always say hello twice, I say it 3 times.
This time 3 times. And exactly, you didn't reduce it, to just 1 time.
Yeah.
Increase.
Exactly. We can say hello as often as we want.
Yes. Could have a whole episode of nothing but hellos. Don't know how interesting it would be to listen to, but we could do that.
Or we could just say hello 30 seconds in a row.
That ties into our topic for today. And just before that, I just wanted to check with you, though. So after we record today, I'm going to play Zero Grav Squash.
Ah, is that today?
That's today. My first time playing since I was a teenager.
Cool.
Looking forward to it. And the reason I'm mentioning it now, though, is that so I was going to play with 3 other people. One of them had to cancel. Would you like to take their place?
Oh.
Have you?
So what time is it?
After we record, yeah. So I think it's 9:15 now. We're scheduled to start at 11.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. I don't have any gear. Do I need anything?
No, you can get it there.
Okay.
I know, again, it's my first time playing since I was a teenager. I also don't have regular gear. I'm just going to pick some up when I get there.
So Zero Grav Squash.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep, squash in 0 gravity.
So that sounds both relaxing as well as exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm imagining it. When I played it as a teenager, I was much more spry, so I don't remember it straining me too hard. I'm a bit older now, so I'll see how I handle it.
Okay, I'm all up for not straining myself too hard. Mm-hmm. So I'm up for this.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Then great, that's sorted. And sure, now we can talk about 30 seconds. And what was the thing you just said?
Saying hello for 30 seconds.
We could do that.
But we won't.
We won't do that, because that's not the experiment.
No, but we're doing 30 seconds of other things today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so today is, it's a global thing, or it kind of grew in a global thing. It was initially just, let's say, a very good idea that everybody picked up on. Mm-hmm. You want to explain what it is?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, how to summarize it succinctly. Originally, the idea was simply to stress test the world.
Yeah.
So infrastructure, but also people.
Yeah.
Everything.
Technology, society.
Exactly.
Everything we have.
Yep. And yeah, exactly. See what happens. So test what happens if certain systems are pushed to the limit, or at least pushed as far as we can push them. Mm-hmm. And now there's a little bit of fun involved as well.
Yes.
Because, originally there was very specific things that needed to be tested, and they're in there too. But then there was a little bit of slack. So it's like, okay, let's have some suggestions from the public. And some of those have been picked out.
And so today, every hour...
Right. Every hour on the hour?
Yes.
No, not quite. Let's say every hour on the half hour.
True, actually. Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm. Every hour on the half hour.
We all do the same thing for 30 seconds.
Worldwide.
Yes, everybody. Or at least everybody who participates.
Exactly. It's not compulsory, but it's pretty fun. At least based on the experiments that have happened so far today. Huge amount of people are taking part.
Yeah. It's all organized by the IUT, so the Isfahan University of Technology.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are the ones that came up with the idea. And then this got picked up globally. Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Everybody doing the same thing for 30 seconds. I'm up for this. So this is 24 hours across all time zones. Mm-hmm. This became very popular. Everybody could come up with ideas. Mm-hmm. They picked the 23, as far as I remember, right? Because it's every half hour. Mm-hmm. So it started at midnight.
Correct.
I think the last one is...
Well, it will be 11:30.
Exactly. According to IUT time zone. So we're a few hours to the west.
Correct.
Anyway, but it's all at the same time. It's not like we wait until our time zone gets there. We all do it at the same time. So globally. Mm-hmm. So this means we already have a few experiments behind us today.
Mm-hmm. Right, correct. This morning, a whole bunch of them have already gone by.
Yep.
And we've got most of the rest of the day, more ones to come.
Yes, exactly. And we timed the recording that we can actually do one of the experiments live in a podcast. Yeah, so we still have a little bit until we get there. We're keeping a close eye on the clock. As you know from us, we are
very precise.
We are very precise in these kind of things. But we thought we could fill the time until then by maybe mentioning some of the experiments that already happened and maybe some of the ones that are coming and we're particularly looking forward to.
Yeah, and we'll leave the one we're actually going to do in, 10 minutes now or so? We'll leave that one as a surprise until we actually do it, I mean.
Yes, that's going to be a surprise. Also meant that, for us, we were very dedicated to these kind of things because they're fun and we like to talk about it on the podcast.
Exactly.
We're going to be a bit tired at the end.
Could be.
I was thinking,
it's only 30 seconds, but...
True, but it's just being awake for such a long time.
I see what you mean. No, not within our show, but by the end of today.
I was thinking, hey, maybe I can sleep for like 40 minutes in between, like do some power napping. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that.
See how it goes.
Yes.
I guess while we're playing squash, we'll also need to... We'll see.
True, actually, yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Like I say, it's not an obligation, but, it would be nice if we can do whatever the thing is.
Yeah. But, true, I would like to. Let's then we can we can pause the game for 30 seconds. Maybe there's something about zero gravity then.
That would work out.
So of all the things that we did today already,
yes.
Any ones you remember? Fondly?
First thing when I got up, take a shower.
Yes, that was the first thing.
Fondly maybe is a bit strong, but it was fun. Like, I'm having my shower anyway, but it was fun to imagine, hey, and everyone else... Well, maybe not every single other person in the world is having a shower right now, but a whole lot of people are having a shower right at this moment at the same time as me.
Good memories.
Yeah, it was pretty good
together.
stuff. Well, in our own separate... some people, sure, 2 or more in a shower together. Myself, in my own shower.
I think most people were... Yeah. Although...
A swimming pool, maybe everyone's having... They have big showers there as well.
They have... Actually, around the world, they have some events organized where whatever we're supposed to be doing all at the same time... let's all get together at this place and do that thing.
Yeah. Right, so, and like for the shower ones, exactly. Some places they had big, like elephants. Not real elephants, but like basically big robot elephants spraying water everywhere for people to shower underneath.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And it counts.
It does.
But yes, that was one of the earlier ones, right? Everybody take a shower at the same time. And only after that I came over here. Correct. So I think until this point we basically did them in our own places. The first one we did here was eating chocolate cookies. Right?
Yeah.
They came right after the shower, I think.
Exactly, that was the next one. And that's also a nice time, get here, have a cup of coffee. You had coffee, I had tea. And have a chocolate cookie at the same time.
You see, it almost sounds like...
They're just doing our daily lives for us.
True, but of course in Isfahan they're a few hours behind. They would have then a shower at a little later. Yeah, okay, but it still feels like a bit of a logical sequence.
Yeah.
Also, that I liked chocolate cookies in particular because I like chocolate cookies.
Exactly, that worked out. Okay, and so those two are, you could imagine maybe our listeners do those things anyway just for their regular morning routine.
It's also with a lot of these things like they're trying to stress test or technology or society.
Exactly. So everyone's showering at the same time. It's a whole lot of much more strain than usual on the water network.
Yeah, and that's also they thought that's going to have some sort of impact. Let's find out what it is.
Yeah. And we'll get the results tomorrow. Today is doing all the experiments, gathering the data, and then we'll see in the coming days what the results are. In the case of the chocolate cookies, right.
I don't think they had any kind of hypotheses of...
Right, but I'm imagining, it depends. Did people buy the cookies in advance? Or was it that at that point everyone, or not everyone, but so many people tell their food congos to make them cookies at the same time? Yeah, what kind of stress does that put on the food congo network?
True. True, but I was thinking the actual biting and the cookie swallowing of
crunching
the cookie.
And the sounds of that echoing around the world. And
also maybe they didn't really have an hypothesis what could happen. And I didn't really particularly notice anything.
Sure. Right. The lights didn't dim when we bit into
Yeah, exactly. The sun didn't stop shining. I mean, with the everybody taking a shower at the same time.
You can imagine, there's not enough hot water maybe.
Yeah, or water to begin with, Like I didn't go to the toilet afterwards, but I can imagine maybe some places could. We'll find out tomorrow what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other ones where you did notice something?
Like something actually in the world being different as a result, yeah? There was the one where, so basically a whole bunch, so the effect was, the thing I noticed was both in my apartment, but also in my neighbours, and also just out in the streets, I could hear so many telephones ringing. And that was the thing where the idea was everyone call someone at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was surprising to me because I figured, okay, if everyone actually does that at the same time, no one's phones are going to ring because everyone's going to be trying to make a call.
Yeah.
But of course, not everyone was actually doing it or taking part or had the timing quite right. So yeah, hundreds, thousands, I'm not even sure. I mean, again, tomorrow there'll be the results. It sounded like hundreds or even thousands of phones just ringing across the city.
Yeah, you could...
it was impressive.
You could definitely hear that, yeah. That's also from your balcony.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that was pretty cool. I also think, like, if everybody calls at the same time, you just get, line...
Right, line busy.
Exactly, but I think if you're just faster than the other,
exactly.
Their phone rings before you get to...
Yeah, exactly. Some people had their, they had on their phone, they had the contact ready to go and tapped call exactly the time, and other people were actually looking through their address book and so on.
Or going around this circle thing, dick.
Oh yeah, old style.
That takes longer.
Rotary dial.
Yeah. The one thing that I noticed seemed to have a lasting effect was the Build a Space radio. I mean, I didn't manage on time.
I didn't finish mine either within the 30 seconds. But so how did you notice it?
There seemed to be static in the air. Like
the air itself was vibrating.
Yes, exactly. You it really felt like somehow the air was humming. So you could almost hear it, but you could kind of feel it, like some sort of underlying
like subspace. I mean,
currents.
Like space radio goes through subspace, and normally not everyone's trying to use that at once, and so many people trying to access it at once. And had that kind of effect.
And like neither you nor me were successful in making a space radio within 30 seconds, but I guess maybe some people were maybe a little better prepared.
Right. Maybe they had all the pieces lined up on their desk in front of them.
Or they already had it finished except for the last bit
just
or whatever.
Started in the last crystal,
exactly. So that was the thing. And also that lasted for, I don't know, it felt like for hours. Like it slowly disappeared, this kind of underlying hum. Anyway, that was the one I think that had the most impact. Any other ones you remember?
The one last one, I don't think of it now, of course, because I'm looking at you. Everyone dyes their hair green. Yeah. So dyes or used as a sideboard chip. However you do it, everyone has green hair is the point.
Yeah.
I used my sideboard chip, it was the fastest way to do it. But exactly, that was pretty cool.
This was a cool... we did it on the balcony.
Exactly.
And to just check from your view, to see if anybody in your view, any people you see, were turning green. Surprisingly, a lot of people didn't. Sure.
But it was still like some folk were doing it like us, like standing on the balcony, making an occasional. But looking down at the street, you see people just walking along, and they obviously timed it so that it would just happen instantly as they were walking. So it's fun to just see a wave of green spreading across the people.
Yeah, that was true actually. Yeah. Well, which was also what also was fun was that a lot of people didn't change it back.
Right. No. Sure. I mean, you could do.
Like me,
to stop
I guess.
you, but I've kept mine.
Yeah. Also, not sure. Maybe they couldn't. I didn't try because it looked pretty cool. But yeah. Okay, so those were the ones that already happened.
Yep, some of the ones that already happened, and there's some more to come, of course.
Yeah. Any ones in particular you're looking forward to? There's definitely one that I look forward to.
Do you want to go first, or?
Yeah, but I'm going to mention another one.
Okay.
So, because I want to keep... Okay, no, sorry. The one that I look forward to most is the one, I think it's last. Set fireworks loose in your bathroom.
Yeah, it makes sense to end the day on that.
Yeah. So there's basically... we are prepared. We have a bunch of fireworks here. We need to move them to your bathroom on time.
Yeah.
Because we have to then light them, close the door, and see what happens.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
Light them. He said, put them in there, light them, quickly close the door, get out of there, close the door. Presumably, we'll hear some stuff through the doorway.
I guess. Yeah.
We got the right amount of fireworks that they should, go off for 30 seconds and then be done.
Yeah.
And then we'll open the door and see what's going on in there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the one I definitely look forward to most. Is really, I think if you would start with, I don't know, eating a chocolate cookie at the end of this day of experimenting, maybe most people are asleep by now, setting fireworks loose. Everybody's going to stay up for that.
Yep. Right, and like I said, a good way to end the day, or rather end this experiment. A celebration, you know. One I'm looking forward to, so obviously before then, reading a book. I like to read a lot, you know, for book clubs, also just for myself anyway, but also I read a lot for book clubs. And exactly, so I've chosen a short book. So it's a short book, it's only like 200 pages or so. It's called This Is How You Lose the Time War. So I'm interested to see how much of it can I read in 30 seconds.
Cool.
And that's the point, actually. Everyone in the world, okay, well, so I keep saying everybody, a whole bunch of people around the world reading a book for 30 seconds, but everyone can choose their own book.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a pretty odd experiment there.
I think this is also one of the ones where they didn't really have an idea what could possibly happen.
Like which book to,
Or basically, would there anything?
We could imagine some books have a big influence on people. I guess it would need to be the opening paragraphs, but either way, if everyone read a certain, you know, book at the same time, could influence how people think, and so then in turn how they behave. And so if they had chosen one particular text, it could have that effect. Since everyone could choose their own text, never mind.
Maybe, I mean, there already talks about, because there were so many ideas, that they will do a follow-up on this. Maybe they make it a yearly thing or whatever. And maybe then they do, let's do the book reading again, but then let's read the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I just brought my Plastic Bag Man comics. Yeah, they didn't say it wasn't allowed to be a comic book. So
correct.
I mean, 30 seconds. What can you read in 30 seconds?
Sure.
Yeah, but that should be a fun one. And the other one I was looking forward to. This might then actually be when we're playing Zero Graph Squash. I'm thinking it's the laughing out loud.
Oh. That will work out well. That's something I think it could be possible to do while playing squash.
Yeah.
And sure, I mean, it would be easiest if we're telling a joke at the time, or someone, you know, if we're having a conversation where laughter comes naturally. But failing that, we can just force it. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe put a bit more heart into it.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
Me too, yeah. Like maybe we'll put a bit more heart into it.
I think like if you don't start at the exact first second, but maybe kind of like start laughing a little bit like the 5 seconds before to kind of really get into this loud laughing. Also, as I understood, if you laugh, it automatically makes you happier.
Yeah.
Maybe this can be kind of like a circle.
Have a huge effect. Yeah.
Exactly. Makes you happier, you laugh more, makes you
especially
happier.
if you, I mean, we'll be with 2 other people, so especially if you're doing this with other people, I think if people are doing it by themselves, it will still have an effect on them, but it won't like build and build as it might if they're with other people.
Could even be contagious, you know, if one of us doesn't really get into the laughing, but everybody else is laughing, then you join. I'm already almost laughing now. Okay, anyway.
That will work, like I said, so that will work well, I think, for while we're playing squash, which is handy because another one is produce spaghetti bolognese. That's tougher to do while playing squash. Zero gravity or otherwise. I'm
keeping an eye on the clock.
Yep.
So this is actually...
so we should get ready, yeah?
Yeah. So this is 20 seconds. Yep. Okay, wow, good that I wasn't paying attention. So the experiment for the listeners, we have to jump every 10 seconds.
Yeah?
Every 10 seconds at the same time.
Exactly, so the next one is, so I can do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so... That was the first jump.
Yep.
Dirk and I jumped. Next one in 3, 2, 1. Okay, very exciting.
So
and there's 1 more.
And there's 4 in total. We also have to at the end.
At the end, yeah. So, okay, and then 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then, like you say, 1 more.
You can hear it, huh? You don't. I
mean, I can hear it. I hope it comes across in the...
No, but I mean, like, not just us.
3, 2, 1. You're right, I could hear my neighbours. And somehow in the from outside through the window.
Wow. Okay.
Well, okay then.
It somehow sounds like there's still something going on.
Yeah, like a bit of a... Maybe some people started a bit later, but they still wanted to get in 4 jumps, you know?
Yeah, but it's more
that's the thing, trying to synchronize something like this worldwide. It's not like everyone literally starts at the same point, you know?
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, no,
That's probably what those sounds are.
Yeah. They will then, I guess, die down.
Yeah,
or maybe they don't come across in the recording anyway.
Unless, okay, I'm just going to keep saying all the people in the world do it. Maybe it shakes some things loose. Maybe start some earthquakes. Probably not earthquakes, but start some tremors or things like that.
Well, then it's a good stress test.
Exactly. That's the point of all this.
They wanted to find this stuff out, so they were finding out stuff. I guess we'll either hear about it in the summary tomorrow, or if it's really bad, sooner.
Correct.
Okay. Before we close off, we have a listener question. Pretty interesting one.
Yeah. It's, this time we have the full text.
Yeah.
Who's this from?
Iuah.
Iuah. Yeah. Shall I read the email?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hey guys, thanks for all the information about the future every week. I'm going to be in Frankfurt in a few months and wondered if you have any tips for places to see while I'm there. You've mentioned a mine a few times, but that doesn't seem to be around yet in the 21st century. Do you have any other tips? Cheers. We do, and it's helpful that it's an email, yeah, because we can read how it's written. And I think maybe this person misheard us because they've written it mine, like where you go like mining for diamonds or something.
Yeah.
And we've been just talking about the river, I assume.
I thought, it's funny, only while you were reading it now, I realized what they were talking about.
Because you were thinking, have we spoken? Well, maybe we have spoken about mines, but I don't think it is a thing that's in Frankfurt, especially.
No, but only when you were reading it. But I think you picked up on it immediately. Yeah, it's the river. The river is called Mine.
Exactly.
At least current.
I mean, that's what I'm assuming they're talking about, because there was that, what's it called, archaeological dig, but that's not really a mine. I mean, there's digging involved, but it's a different type of thing.
Yeah. But still a really cool question. Of course,
yes.
We're in the 23rd century, so we don't know the stuff that we particularly like about Frankfurt, if that was already around in the 21st century. But
I mean, there's some things we can know they didn't have. Like they didn't have walls, for example.
Yeah, so
we don't need to recommend the wall. But exactly, some of these things, they've been around a long time. Hopefully they were also around 200 years.
Exactly. Just to point out a few, let's say, older things that we like about Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And handily enough, we made a top 5.
We did.
Yes.
Between the two of us, yeah. So things we think, things we like about Frankfurt and things we can imagine a visitor would also like.
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, so this is obviously a pick from myself. So the Lego store in Brickstrasse.
Yeah.
They've got some, and obviously they sell Lego, that's a given, but they also have some really nice display models, all kinds of wonderful things to see.
I've been there, and it's a pretty historic building, so I'm sure the Brickstrasse was already around.
Yeah, must have been. It would be weird to name a street after a Lego shop, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, actually. So we're guessing that was already around in the 21st century. Something I particularly like is the flooded Euro sign.
Yeah.
This was when they wanted to bring more water back to Frankfurt. Apparently in the old days they had water. Then in the less old days they didn't. And in the newer days they brought some water back.
Yeah, rehydrated it.
Exactly. And at one point the Euro was consumed by the anyway. So they flooded the square.
Exactly. The whole square, and then also the sign itself, converted it to make it out of glass so that you could see the water inside of it with little fish swimming around too.
Yeah, that's really cute. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe the Euro sign was already around, just maybe not flooded.
Oh, indeed.
Either way, recommended to go see it.
Definitely. And something I like, water related, kind of. So the pink canals.
Yeah.
The ones, full of the psychoreactive slime.
Yeah.
Especially good at night because it glows. Those are really beautiful.
It's also like in Frankfurt, you can never lose your way because even in the side streets, they're still somehow illuminated. Like it never really gets dark in Frankfurt because of that.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, yeah. I have to say that. And also, I was going to say also take some hover vehicle and fly over the nightly Frankfurt.
If they can. I don't think they had hover vehicles. They had helicopters, so maybe if they can borrow a helicopter from someone.
Or hot air balloons.
Oh,
they used to have hot air balloons.
Zeppelin even.
Yeah. Jetpacks. I think jetpacks have been around for a while.
I think so, yeah. So if they can get up in the air, they'll have a really nice view.
Or they can go to my 4th tip, Skyline Park.
Oh, yeah. Have a nice view over the city.
Exactly. So this is a bunch of skyscrapers. In the 23rd century, a lot of them have been grown over by nature, but they're still standing. But you can get up in them. I guess if they're in the 21st century, they'll have to walk up.
Yeah, up the stairs.
Yeah. But then you'll have an amazing view, either of the canals or of Frankfurt in general. And depending on what's there, there's, at least in the 23rd century, art galleries and shopping experiences and little concert venues and so on. So I'm not sure what of that is already around in the 21st century, but definitely can recommend some upstairs entertainment.
Yep. And then the last thing on our list, so one of my picks, the Padlock Bridge.
True.
So it's a really nice, so it's a bridge all along the sides. People attach padlocks. Some people put a really big padlock, and then people will attach smaller ones to that. So, and why do they do it? Because they engrave certain things. So either couples that have gotten together, or for anniversaries, or for birthdays, or for having a kid, or stuff like that. For whatever reason, people put their padlocks on. And what's really nice is in the middle of the bridge, there's this really nice stall that sells hand cheese with music. And if this person's new to Frankfurt, they may not have had that before, and that's a really nice snack to have while you're out admiring the padlocks.
Did you know they used the bridge also in the past to cross the river? They didn't teleport to the other side?
I mean, all bridges used to be like that, yeah. But exactly, yeah. I mean, if you really want, you can still do that. But mainly you go there for the hand cheese of music and to admire the padlocks.
Yeah. It's also like, because of the padlocks, this is one of the bridges that they kept. Because some of the bridges that were just, car traffic, which we don't, which is basically hovering over now. This is the one they kept because of the padlocks.
Because of the padlocks and then later the hand cheese with music.
Yeah. Lots of recommendations. Let us know how it went.
Yes, please. And listeners to Test from the Future, please send an email to michaellasagna5@gmail.com. Put the episode number 216 in the subject so that we know this episode successfully went back in time. And ask us questions about the future that only we can answer.
Yes, because only we know. At least of all the people that you know, only we know. Yes. All right. Thanks for listening, and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.